Greetings Internet! Today we're going to have a talk about Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and probably a little bit about the Marvel Cinematic Universe in general. I'm going to try and keep this video generally spoiler free for the Winter Soldier because I know that in the US, of course, it's not actually released until Friday. For some reason, as has happened for quite a few of the other Marvel films, here in the UK we got it a week early. So as long as you've at least seen the trailer, then this video isn't really going to spoil anything for you. I'll start off by saying that I did enjoy the film a lot, but it's not without its issues. However, I think the biggest issue has been Marvel's promotion of the whole thing. There's been so many trailers and TV spots and sneak peeks and advanced previews and other scenes that basically at this point, if you spend any time on the internet, you've seen half the film already. There's that scene in the lift which I've seen so many times now that by the time it came to it in the actual film, I didn't really care anymore. I mean, it's a good thing that Marvel are promoting their property and doing it well and bringing in the numbers. But at this point, for me, they just have to say, this is going to be the next movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'll turn up. I mean, they're previewing things for the next Avengers already, and that's not due till next year. It's like, calm down a bit. At least for now, I've only seen the one trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy. Hopefully we can leave it at that. So let's talk about the film itself briefly. It looked great in terms of directing and cinematography. I had no problems with the acting throughout, and the story was pretty consistent and entertaining, even knowing 70% of it going in. I think probably that the biggest problem with it is that Captain America just isn't the most interesting of the Avengers. He's your basic do-gooder Boy Scout type, and there's not much more to him than that. I find myself far more interested in Black Widow's story at this point, which brings me to another thing. You've got to wonder, in this big story about what's happening with S.H.I.E.L.D., is where's Hawkeye at this point? Now, obviously, Thor can be out in the galaxy somewhere, although at the end of the Dark World, obviously, he was back on Earth. And Iron Man's sort of half retired now, but Hawkeye is a big part of S.H.I.E.L.D. and a big part of Black Widow's life, but nowhere to be seen at the moment. So where's he? Even if he can't come in for a cameo, some kind of throwaway line about where in the world he's hiding at the moment would have been handy, just like they did for Natalie Portman in Avengers. What will be interesting is how they deal with this in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series next week, because there's absolutely no way that what happened cannot have massive effects on that show. I'm thinking I should probably try and rate the whole universe in an order, but it's been so long since I've seen the likes of Hulk or Iron Man 2 that I'm not sure I'd be able to get it right. I need to have a rewatch of the entire universe together and see what actually stands out. Finally, one thing I have loved about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but is beginning to get on my nerves a little bit, and that's after credit scenes. They're a cool idea that really tie all the films together. Stark turns up at the end of Hulk, Nick Fury turns up at the end of Iron Man, Thanos at the end of Avengers. But then at Iron Man 3 they kind of lost their way a bit, and after 8 minutes of incredibly dull credits, we just get a 30-second joke which wasn't really even terribly funny. In Thor: The Dark World it was a little bit better. That was one of the ones with two. In the mid-credits there was a little introduction to the Guardians of Galaxy universe, and then one at the end which was just a little wrap-up between Thor and Jane. And the main problem with that was, it was, again, after a really long credit scene that you get in these big action films, it was just too short. It's not worth sitting in the cinema for a whole 7-8 minutes just for like 15 seconds worth more footage. And that was the case again with the Winter Soldier. There was a really good one in the sort of mid-credits, after the fancy credits and before the scrolly credits. And then at the end it was a nice moment, but it was far too short to have sat waiting for. It'd be better off waiting till it's on DVD and you can fizz through the credits. But really, if they're so short that they're not worth waiting for and you want to fizz through the credits, then why can you not just shove them in the epilogue of the film somewhere? It's tough because it's been a good gimmick that's worked well for Marvel, but it's beginning to feel a little bit stretched and they could do with a bit more substance. So they were my first thoughts after seeing The Winter Soldier. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought down in the comments below, and I will see you tomorrow.